Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi LiveNoding. In this episode, I'm going to show you a setup in Blender using animation nodes add-on and Sverchok add-on, basically to export 3D stop motion animation for Sketchfab. So basically, Sketchfab allows you to upload like a stop motion animations, and in this case, I'm actually using an OBJ sequence. There is a documentation at Sketchfab where you kind of like you prepare like a batch of objects inside one folder, and then you provide a special file called sketchfab.timeframe. It's just a simple text file, but um, I'm thinking that maybe we can streamline the process, and so instead of we are having to type all the name of the files and like this, like the durations and the name of the file, in this case obj sequence. um, I think we can do it using nodes. We can actually, of course, just use Python to generate this kind of text, but in this case I'm gonna use Sverchok and animation nodes. So let's see, have a look. First of all, the animation is just like a rotating donut. And the rotating donut is basically just Sverchok procedural animations. Basically, I'm using this torus generator, and I'm rotating it using this frame number multiplied by 9 because I want it to rotate 360 under within 40 frames. So I have this rotating donuts. I can of course use anything, any kind of objects, and I voxelize these rotations using Blender remesh modifier. Okay, so the remesh will actually generate this voxel mesh per frame. Okay, that's one task. And the next thing I did was to file, export, OBJ, and I turn on this animations, make sure this is on, and then I export it out. In this case, I'm calling it voxel SM for stop motion. And there are a total of 40 frames, and for each frames there's a material being generated. And yeah, so we get the like OBJ sequence there. And now all we need is just a text file that generates we just need a text file that contains all the names of our file names and the duration. So for this, I'm actually using animation nodes to do it. Animation nodes has a way to deal with text that's kind of I found it um, very intuitive. So it's very easy. So first of all, I created this script node. So this is just like um, it contains a very simple Python code, and I'm using this globe module. Basically, globe module allows you to go inside a folder and then get the file names very easily. And then I'm also using the OS module to get the file name of this this path. So what I did was just give the path to the OBJ, and then I and then for each file that's contained here, I wanted to append it, and I also specify the durations for each of the objects, and in this case it's like 0.1 second. Well, anyway, I append everything into a list, and then outside here you can see for the durations, I first round the number first and then plug it into the durations, and the script node does all the job. And for the text list that's being generated, I separate it using line break, and then join all the text and then put it into this text block writer node. So this text block writer node does everything for you, and it generates a text file still inside Blender, but then you can save it as sketchfab.timeframe. And once you do that, you just simply like zip the whole folder containing the OBJ sequence and the Sketchfab timeframe, and then you upload it. So you zip it out and then you upload it. It is not supported by Sketchfab yet, but I think this is kind of a nice techniques to share. So I think it should be useful if you do a lot of stop motion animations, and if you're like you bring it into Blender and you want to process it and then you want to export it out. And you can also use software called Magica Voxel, and you can export like the OBJ. If you do that, you can still use Blender and produce this generate this text file using animation nodes. I think this is kind of useful. Yeah, I'm gonna give you these blend files. Hopefully you can make something out of it. So let me know what you think, and thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you next time.